Good morning, everyone. It's Cheryl from Tinker's Cart Art, and I'm coming here to you this morning on Craft Around the Clock and Tinker's Cart Art. So welcome. Welcome, everyone. I know it's early morning for me, but here I am. And if you don't make it and you're looking at this on the replay, I'm still here to answer questions. If you want to put anything in the comments, I would love to hear from you. So what I thought we would paint this morning is something a little different. Good morning. Please say hello as you come on in. And if you would be so kind as to give StreamYard permission, I can actually see your name in the comments, which would be nice. And so this morning we're going to paint in acrylics on some canvas bags. I've had these stashed for a little while, but you can still get them. I've got these at Hobby Lobby. I'm sure you can get them at most of the craft and art shops as well as on Amazon. And you can do the same technique on any kind of canvas bag fabric, on canvases, wherever you want to paint them. I'm going to do some little florals for you today. And the bags that I picked up, let me show you. I thought they would be great little gift ideas. And good morning. Thank you guys for popping on. Say hello. Hey, Tracy, good morning. How are you today? I'm in Maine today. I'm in the southern coast of Maine on the ocean, and it's gorgeous here today. So it'll be fun to paint some nice cherry florals. And I bought these little, let me show you what they look like when you get them. They come in these little packs of, gosh, they might have come in little packs of 3s or 6s. I forget now. Let me see. I unpackaged them, but they come in little multiple packs. There's a little black tote bags. They come in the natural canvas color as well. And I thought, wouldn't they be great with a little tissue paper in here and a little gift of some sort? So they make the ideal gift bag because you can use them over and over. You could use them for all sorts of things, cosmetics. Little girls love these little bags. You could paint something sparkly and pink on there. So I had the little canvas tote bags in the natural and the black we're going to work on. Also picked up some of these little wristlets. Now it could be like a little cosmetic bag. Actually, this one, these guys here are just little zippered bags. This is more like a wristlet. It's got the little handle. Again, this came in a blue denim, which I thought would be kind of fun. So I've got the blue denim there. I've got a natural canvas. I'm sure it comes in the black and the other colors. I picked up a variety and have been dying to paint them. So we're going to do that today. Good morning, Darla. Let me know where you guys are watching from. Like I said, I'm on the southern coast of Maine this morning. And so anyways, it's beautiful out. So I think I will hit the beach a little later. And we've spent the summer painting all kinds of beachy things and summer things. And I am in the mode. We are starting to do some Halloween and Christmas. So that is always fun too. But I thought, let's do a little more summer while we have it here. So here we go. And thank you guys. You guys are great to all pop on like that. So I am going to start from scratch and show you how I began and how I got this little bit of a background for my florals. I wanted to do a few up and let them dry so that I can put those nice bright colors on top. So these guys are drying. I'm going to move them over because we're going to paint the flowers on those. And I've got some started. This one isn't quite finished yet. Little sunflowers, or they could be black-eyed Susans. Good morning, Catherine from Lakeland, Florida. Florida has been on my mind lately because I know we're going to be heading down there pretty soon for the winter. So I'm excited and spending summers up here in Maine. So we'll be one of those snowbird people. I've started this little one with the daisies. I'm going to finish it up. But let me get started and show you what I'm using. And we are going to get that background bit painted on these little bags. So I would, if you want to do multiples of these, because these would be a great craft show item or gifts or something to sell online. So that would be, I would probably line up a bunch to do, and I'll show you how I do that. Hey, Jessica, good morning. I know I get this question all the time because I paint, let me show you, I've got, I paint little canvas shoes, sneakers, tote bags, all kinds of canvas. And I don't generally use the fabric paint or the fabric medium unless I'm probably painting on a softer item like a t-shirt or something. But your regular acrylics, whatever you choose to use, the craft acrylics, I do like the deco art, but I love the color of some of these Craft Smart. Some of the colors I really love, I buy in big gallon containers from Blick. So I have them in these bottles. You can use your heavy body tubed, but unless it's really something that the hand is very soft at, I've never had a problem. I don't put anything on them usually. You could put a little coat of Mod Podge if you wanted on top to seal it. But I've you know, when you get paint on your clothes and you're painting, can you ever get it out? No. So they last pretty good. Maria, Ontario, Canada. Oh, thank you. You're closer to me up here in Maine, right, you know, north of us. So anyways, welcome. Thank you for saying hello. Please say hello when you come in. I do just find it kind of cool to see who's watching us. So regular, ordinary acrylics. I don't put a medium or a extender, and you can if that's the way you paint. There's nothing wrong with that. But I have just found I could paint with these acrylic paints on just about anything, and it's not going to budge, which is kind of cool. It also means we paint a little fast because the acrylics do dry a little quicker. So I'm going to remove that banner so you can really see everything there. There we are. And I put your comments back up. April, good morning. You guys are, my neighbors to the north are out this morning watching. And look at where you got Missouri. Oh my goodness, Phoenix. I love it out there. I was just out. I come out that area to paint usually every year to do plein air painting out New Mexico and Arizona. And that way I was in New Mexico in April. So that was kind of cool. Oh, thanks, Jessica. The sunflower hat was fun. We're going to use a similar technique. I'm going to show you some other flowers. And, you know, I do have on my page, I painted a black baseball cap, which really came out nice, too, which you could do the same thing on baseball caps. They sell all those caps at Hobby Lobby. I was surprised to see. So that's pretty cool. So I just want to make sure I answer any questions, and I'll do that as we go. And if you missed this or you have to run, you know this is recorded. It'll be on my page. It'll be on Craft Around the Clock page as well. So let's jump in, and I'm going to show you, like I said, I do a little background. This greenery in the background, I do first. Let it dry, then I can pop some colors on there nice and bright. For some of the lighter colors, I probably need to put a little white base, but we'll do that as we go. Good morning, Susie and Donna. Thank you guys for watching. And Kim, hey, thank you guys for saying hello. It really does, really appreciate seeing you here and letting me know that you're here. It makes it feel like I'm really talking to you guys and not just to the camera. So if the bag's a little bigger, I really just go into the middle. Can you see it's just a little bit in the middle? My flowers and leaves, we can overlap this, but this gives me a little base, so it doesn't look like a few flowers just by themselves hanging on there. It gives it almost like a little bouquet look, which is kind of cool. Any colors you can use, the techniques I'm showing you with like a daisy and a sunflower or a black-eyed Susan, you can just change up the colors, make any color you like. No one's going to say, oh, there isn't a flower in that color, because there is somewhere, so don't worry. And April, indeed, of Crafts and Creations, thank you guys for watching. So I'm going to line up a few of these to show you how I get started, because these really are great little gifts. They don't take long, and you can certainly line them up and do multiples, whether it's for gifting or for, you know, selling at the craft fairs and things. So I'm just going to start. I've got a few brushes out here. I mentioned last time, use whatever you have, of course. We always make do with whatever paints or supplies we have. I can always make it work. But I do like these hog bristle brushes. They are the long-handled. They're more in the fine art section. They're hog bristle. They're a filbert, which is the rounded edge, which I like. But can see how stiff these guys are? They're great to dig into the nooks and crannies of your regular canvas as you're painting, or canvas bags. It pushes the paint around a little bit, and it gets me to get a better coverage. Now, certainly, of course, if you have your synthetics and you have like a wider 1 inch or a 3/4 inch flat, you can use that too. Actually, this one's pretty stiff because it's been used so much for all kinds of things, so it's kind of good. So if you have an old brush that's not in good shape, but it's a little stiffer, this is perfect for the background. So I am going to just take that little hog bristle brush. I've loaded some green. So what I have out on my palette, and I'm going to move this over a little so you can see what we're using for colors. It's not much to start. I've got this is a big bit of black here, and this is a phthalo green. I know it's hard to see the difference. I love phthalo green. It's a dark, dark blue green. So I have that because it mixes beautifully with a cad yellow or a primary yellow to make beautiful shades of all shades of green. So all I really need is that dark phthalo green. I mix it with a little black to get a very dark background to start, and then I'm going to lighten up. So right now, it's all I have out is a green and a yellow and a white and a black. And I'm going to move my brushes to the side because I think it might be better for you to see the palette than it is to see the brushes. And I'm taking, to start the base little background of this bouquet, I'm going to use my dark green and a little black. Joanne, oh, Rent the Mess. You're right here in Mass. I'm in Maine this morning, but I live in Clinton, Mass. That's where I come to you from a lot of times in my studio. So we are neighbors, kind of, a little bit. Well, April, you're right. If I'm painting a t-shirt or a little baby onesie or something, I will put a piece of cardboard inside. As I was painting these, I kept checking, and it was not bleeding through at all. But you could have a little piece of cardboard to slip into the middle of these things to be safe. This is pretty heavy. This is pretty heavy stiff. It's not like those thin tote bags. This is heavy, but I would definitely check it and slip in a piece of cardboard just to, so you're not painting right through to the other side. And you can actually paint both sides of these if you wanted to. Good morning from South Carolina. Brenda, welcome. Thank you for watching. Hi, Bonnie. Make sure I'm answering questions. If you don't see me answer, put it there again as it scrolls. I'll see it. Robin, I'm just using, I'm using Deco Art, just regular craft paint. This is from Dick Blick, my bigger bits of paint. It's just their Blickrill, which I love their paint there. I sometimes use my Liquitex full-bodied, these guys with the little tubes. But whatever acrylic paint you have, you can make it work. It doesn't have to be a particular kind, so you can use anything you want there. And oh, hey, Vivian from Jeanette's Twin Creek Creations. Thank you for watching. Welcome. And I'm going to work and I'm going to peek it because I have your comments right here, which is kind of cool. Just taking some of that really dark green I have there. You're welcome, Robin. Anytime, any questions. And even if it's later on, direct message me anytime. I'm happy to answer any questions that I can. I'm taking that green with a little tiny bit of black because I just want to deepen that up a little bit. And so what I do is I go right in the middle of what I'm painting. See these little crisscross, slippy slap strokes I'm doing? That's all I start with. And you can see how, because of the texture of the canvas, see how it slides across the top here a little bit? So these bristle brushes really will dig into that a little bit. I just want a little better coverage just in the center, because then I'm going to bring it out and I am going to let it be very light on the edges a little more. Now, this is all background stuff, you guys. I am, you just really need to slap the paint on here. I don't want to make it be too busy with it, but I just put on the green a little dark, and then I start with some of the green and yellow to get lighter. So can you see I'm just building up a base so that those flowers will pop, first of all, but also as I'm filling in these little nooks and crannies of the canvas with paint, that's giving me a little smoother surface to work on as I go. So thanks, Vivian. I appreciate you telling your friends about us here on Facebook. Thank you. So slap that paint on, get a little bit in the middle, get a little lighter. I'm letting it really kind of fade on the edges a little bit, and we're going to sprinkle leaves out there anyway. So that's how I start, and I probably would line up a few pieces. Now, because this is dark, I don't have to get so much dark black into my green paint there. I just put it on, and I know it's hard to see, but what it's doing is it's giving me a little base again to paint on. So I'm going to get a little dark on there. And I just kind of do like an oval shape, just whatever shape you're painting. I just sort of go in the middle and just go out towards the edges a bit. I don't cover the whole side. I just do this. And then this guy you'll really see because it's a little bigger. So I will a little bit of black into my green for this one. And this hog bristle brush really digs in. And I use a bit of paint just to get that covered. I really want that little bit of a softer, smoother surface in the middle for my petals of my flowers. Good morning, White's Creative Designs. Thanks for watching. Patricia, Scarborough, UK. So cool, because you know what? Just north of me here in Wells, Maine is Scarborough, Maine. So it could be your sister city. I don't know, but I have relatives and dear friends over in the UK. My family, a little bit of it is in Manchester. And I had a very dear friend up in Southport, there up in the Lakes District. So, and actually, good friends right now are over in London. So it is a fun place, and I love to get over there to visit you guys. Okay, so I've just got some bases. You can barely see it on the black, but once I start digging into my yellow paint, so I'm not washing my brush or anything. I'm just taking it and going right into my yellow paint, and I'm going to brighten it up now. I'm not painting it solid. I'm just putting that light color here and there. You can see this is fun. This is just slapping the paint on, so you can really enjoy this. And I'm going to do the same. These guys, I started dark to lighten up. I start dark with most of my paintings. You'll see if I'm painting a landscape or whatever it is, an animal. I usually go from dark to light. And the reason being is if you get that really dark behind there, then your light colors are going to pop. If you start like in a medium tone and get lighter, it's not going to have as much of an impact. So do start dark because you can always go over layer if you need to with your acrylics and get a brighter look. And sometimes with some of the transparent colors, orange and yellows, I will actually base coat it in white again a little bit and really have that color pop. Oh, cool. So you're not too far then from Manchester. I hope to get over there again soon. Actually, I do travel quite a bit to Ireland and most of my family's there, but it's nice to hop over to the UK when I'm there because you're so close. Oh, and Victoria from Florida. I get to Florida all the time because my family's in Orlando. So yeah. So I take a little white now even and mix it with some of that yellow to get it a little lighter, a little brighter. And all I want to do is get some contrast. You can see, you see a little bit of the yellow I put on there, but not much. But I really want to go with, I've mixed some yellow with white. See how that really shows up? Sometimes it's pure yellow. I'm just kind of making that little spattering of light colors here and there. I am not really worrying about forming them as leaves. They're going to look like leaves in the background a little bit, but I'm not going to worry about forming them. I'll form some nice leaves around the edge here. So now it's just some straight yellow, some yellow and white, whatever it takes to show up. I love it when you get a nice slash of light color over the dark there. Doesn't that look great? And that's going to be great peeking behind our flowers. Now, as you can see, when we start putting our flowers on, we're covering a lot of that up. But it's nice to see these lights and darks peeking out from behind. And I even go in at the end and add little leaves, really trailing out if you'd like to. Hi, Victoria. Good morning. Thanks for watching, you guys. I'm going to keep an eye on my time. I know I went short one day thinking I was late and I was done, but I was actually early. So we started at 8:30. We'll end up at 9:15. We have plenty of time to do these little guys. They're so fun. And so what I did is put these background bits on here, and I'm going to just put them aside to dry, or you could dry them with your hair dryer. But I did some before we started so that I could jump right in and paint them without having to have that noise of the hair dryer for you. So I'll just try to set these aside. And what I'm going to do is bring over the ones that are in the same stage, but look, they're just dry now. So we've got some of these little guys to paint. And like I said, they are something where you could spread them all out and paint a bunch. Since the color's on your brush, you might as well go right down the line. I know it's a little bit like an assembly line, but these I love for gifts and for selling. So I think you might want to do that as well. But anyways, we're going to line them up. So any kind of flower you want, I'm going to show you some. They're more black-eyed Susans than sunflowers, but you can make them into either. Some white daisies. We can do some geranium-type flowers, hydrangeas, all kinds of things you can do. Oh, thank you, Victoria. I sometimes think it's a little, you know how we hate to listen to our own voice, and I think I sound like Minnie Mouse, to be honest, but thank you. So I'm going to get a little blue and red out because on my little white daisies, I want a little bit of a purpley in the background. So you could get out a purple, or you could just get out, your primaries and mix the colors too. So I think I'm going to do some nice white daisies maybe on this because of the dark background. This is like a denim. This little wristlet's like a denim color. And I am going to stick with my hog bristles because I like how stiff they are, but I also have a little bit of a synthetic filbert brush too. I'll switch back and forth. I have a flat, some flat synthetics, which are nice for making leaves too. So let's just pop in and get some flowers on there. So I want to mix up, and I know the palette is, let me do this with the palette. Maybe you can see it a little better. I take just a tiny bit of blue and red to get that purple shade. Now, again, you guys have a purple you like, you can do that. I'm going to lighten it with a little white. I just want it as a little base on, you'll see right here. See on my little daisies that I've started here? Let me get the glare out. I've got a little bit of a shadow around their centers, say. But how I start them, and this is pretty good size, so I might do 3 flowers here. And then I could have some other little colored flowers coming out from behind. But I'm just going to eyeball it. If you really wanted to be plan out what you were doing. Let me see if I have it. Piece of chalk. You can always use a piece of chalk because the chalk is great. It will just erase very easily. So if you thought you wanted to really plan it better, you could do it with chalk. Hey, Robin. Oh, hi. I'm Cheryl from Tinker's Cart Art. I'm in Massachusetts based, but right now I'm coming to you from the southern coast of Maine. And I teach acrylic painting to beginners, to advanced. I have all sorts of designs. I have a couple of art memberships that people belong to. Um, and I also go online and do one-off classes and lots of free classes and things. So you'll find me around and you can follow me in all of the social media places. I also have a links very top of the comments that I'll put in again. And I do have a private platform too, where we have a nice group, which is a free group. You're welcome to join, and the links are all there. But I've been painting and teaching, I can't even tell you how long. It's embarrassing, like forever. And I just love it. And I love teaching new people how to paint. I believe even if you've never picked up a paintbrush, I can get you painting little baby steps one at a time. So what I'm doing is taking that purple, and I'm just going in the middle of those little flowers I sketched in. Like I said, usually I'll just kind of go right in with the paint. So I've got one big daisy here in the middle, and I'm putting the other ones kind of peeking out from behind because it's kind of a nice look that way. Now you can't see this purple so much, but when I just go over it now with some white, you really will. And what I'm going to do is just take the white paint now and pull it in like as if I'm making petals. My whole flower is a little purple now, which is fine because at least now it's got a little base. You know, I was telling you a minute ago about dark to light. I would like to have a little bit of a base under these white petals because then I have a place to put some real highlights on as well. So I'm going to play around with those a little bit, but right now I'm just getting the base in, and then I'll show you how I shade and highlight just to make these flowers have a little more dimension. I'm usually starting at the edge of the petal, working in, and that's so I can get a petal shape a little better. I'll get more shape as this paint builds up on this kind of a rough canvas bag. It's going to be easier to paint because it's a little smoother. So I'm just basically getting a rough idea of where my flower is going to be. And these just little petals here are just peeking out from the edge. And that's just basically where I'm at for now. And I'm going to just get it a little bit deeper towards the center where the shadow would be. I would maybe want it a little more purple, so I might just add that in here a little darker again. Now, there's nothing wrong with just simply making white petal strokes on top of that dark background and yellow center, and your flower could be done. This morning, I'm going to just kind of make it have a little bit more shading and things. Hey, Katie, good morning. And Robin. I know, Robin, isn't that the thing? Like, I am so loving the Craft Around the Clock group because it's bringing me new ideas and new crafts that I don't generally do, but just for fun, it's just great. But then you're going out and you're buying all the things, right? So thank you, Kat. Good morning. Okay, so, and oh, Gail's here. Yay, thank you. Oh, you know why? I don't have sound for some reason when I have that full screen on, but I can, you know what? I can do that. Let's try because I do like the big screen. I think. I think now you can hear me. but I have to leave that double screen up, it appears, for the moment, but that's okay. You can still see me, and next time maybe I'll try to get that big screen so that you can see me. Make sure you can, just someone post that you can hear me now. I think you can. And we are going, thank you, Maria. Thanks for watching me. I don't know what I pushed. I don't know what I touched to make me go out of the studio and back in, and the sound, but I'm going to do some little black-eyed Susans on here. Same sort of little strokes. What I'm going to do around them instead of purple is kind of like, I'm going to take out a burnt sienna, which is like a red-brown, maybe an orange too. I love orange and this red-brown behind my sunflowers if I'm doing those, or black-eyed Susans. I do also have this goldy yellow, which is kind of a color I've discovered lately. It is called saffron. It's really a nice gold. I really like that. And I'm going to get that same little brush back. And just like I did with the purple around the centers, I'm going to maybe do 2 big flowers here. So I'm just going to make this darker shade and I'm not worried about covering the centers. Centers were put on afterwards, so no worries. So those are just going to be the little centers of where my little flowers are. See how rough it is? I'm not worrying about a perfect shape. I'm having fun just dabbing that paint on. We'll turn it into a flower. I'm going to wipe the dark color off my brush. I'm not going to wash it. I don't want to introduce much water into this painting. So I'm going to just wipe it off and go into that goldy color for my petals, which I start out a little further from the center, and I'm pulling them in just like we did with the white daisy flowers there. If I'm picking up too much of the brown and dragging it, I just wipe off my brush. I always have a paper towel in my hand to dry off the brush as we go. Thank you, Katie. So I'm outside in, pushing in, and I'll tell you why. I know you don't see it much on these little bags, but for instance, let me get, I can show you right here maybe something. I just want to show you that brush stroke. It basically is, I'm taking my brush, pressing it down and pulling it in, and look how you can get a nice petal shape there, right? So you can't see it as defined as that on here, but that's basically what I'm doing. And now I'm going to put a piece of paper towel down so I don't get the back of my bag all painty. So I'm basically just pulling in into the center, right over that little bit of that reddish brown. Because see how it gives us a little bit of a shadow around the center, which is kind of nice. If you lose that a little bit, you can always add some in. Sometimes I do the whole petal with that, and it's just going to give me a little bit. I think that green is a little bit still wet there, but that's all right. So it's a base. These are all little bits of bases that I am going to build on and make a really light look. So you can see, for instance, see how light these got? Started dark like that, adding some lighter yellow and some white with yellow, and I just layer those strokes on top. So that's what we're after right now. We're looking for that. Oh, Robin, thank you. Oh, now, Patricia, this is where I come in, because I want to help people that have never painted before to pick up a brush and go for it, because it's no right or wrong. There's no one way to do things. Anything goes. And if you follow me along step by baby step, honestly, I'll get you painting. Now, here's what I compare it to. I can't cook. I'm not a good cook. Can I watch a tutorial on YouTube and follow it along, or can I look at a recipe and follow the directions? Then I can cook, right? So I just can't go say, you know what, I can't cook. I'm so mad I can't even make a lasagna. But what does it take is to learning. So step by step, it's not something that you're born with. Everyone's not born with the talent. Lots of people are born with the talent, and there are those amazing people that just pick up a brush and a pencil and they're amazing artists. A lot of us just work at it. And if you love it and it brings you joy, who cares what it looks like? You're having fun while you're doing it. And here's what happens. If you sit down to do it and you have fun doing it, you're going to do it again. And then you're going to do it again. And then you're going to do it again. And then you are going to become better. So please jump in and get the paintbrushes and a few paints. You don't need a lot, and just start. Follow step by step. There's plenty of tutorials, and that's how you learn. It's not like, I got up today and I'm going to paint a flower. So no. So you just follow along with me and I'll have you painting. I guarantee it. So there we are. A little bit of flowers there. So let's just work on these two. I'm going back to my original one now. I might rinse my brush off now to get the white paint, but I want to really dry it well. I don't want to, again, have it too watered down. I want nice solid coverage. This would be a good time to maybe use the heavy bodied acrylics too. Put them on there. And this is not completely dry, but dry enough, again, because I'm layering. So I'm going to take pure white now. I'm not going to try to go over every stroke I did. I'm going to have fun with this. I'm not going to be that detailed. I'm just going to pop in more white around the flowers. They're kind of raggedy strokes. Look, you can tell, but I like that look. They're kind of raggedy. That's the texture of the canvas, but I'm going to use it to my advantage. I'm just going to pull in strokes. I'm not making every stroke here a petal. I'm going to layer on top and just come in. Some of them are going to be wider, some are going to be thinner, and I just want that look of some lights and darks, little purple showing through. It's a little fuller flower than just individual petals. But can you see how it's layering on nice? I'm covering up a bit of the purple, some of it's still showing. It's simple as that. Just bring in some petals from the outside in. That's my big main flower. These little guys are just little peeking through the edges, making it look more like a bouquet than one big, pop art flower or something. And I'm on purpose. Sometimes I'll spread the brush out heavier and sometimes it's just a little stroke. And you can layer on as much or as little as you want. I'm trying to tip it to get the glare out so you can see it a little better there. And now, because this is going to have a yellow center, I want a nice bright yellow center. I'm just going to pop on a white center for now on top of what I have there. It's okay that it's wet on wet. That's going to give me a nice base. And that is kind of where we're at with this little bag I painted previously. You see how some of these strokes are very thin and some are just heavy. And then I've got my little white centers. So there we go. Same thing now with this yellow one. We're going to get a lighter shade. So I'm going with just my cad yellow now. So it's a little brighter yellow. And I'm going to mix some with a little white. So take the cad yellow straight, a little on the thick side because I want to kind of almost lay it on top. See how that yellow is popping off of the gold? It'll pop even more when I add a little white to it. I probably would dry this with the hairdryer or let it dry a little more so you're not dragging any of the darker colors in. But I'm going to pop right on here as it is because unless I have to, I'll pull out the hairdryer and I'll usually mute it so you don't have to listen to all the noise. But anyway, and you guys are great. Thank you guys for watching me this morning. And I want to see what you paint. So I want to see you try this and post your paintings. That would be great for me to see. Now I've just got white and the yellow mixed. These strokes are going to really pop nicely. I've got almost 4 or 5 shades here just by using the few yellows, white, a little of the orange, and I like that it's wet and it's all kind of blending. Can you see? You can see orange, you can see gold, you can see a little of the red, brown. If you're doing this and you see it needs something else, experiment. That's how you discover things. You might want to take just orange and pop it in here sometimes. You're not going to discover all these things without making mistakes and trying things. And what's fabulous about acrylics is you can fix any mistake. You can wipe it off, let it dry and paint over it, put it aside, look at it another day, come back to it, and it looks amazing. So don't be hard on yourself when you're painting. Just have fun is my motto. Joy is in the process, I think. And if you're feeling joy when you're painting, I don't care what it looks like, it's going to show that. And I'm just taking out a little bit of burnt umber, just a dark brown here. Really want some nice dark brown centers on here. They could, like I said, be sunflowers or they could be black-eyed Susans. Little different centers, but for the purpose of these little bags, it doesn't matter. Can you see I'm just popping in those little black-eyed Susan centers? And now what I'm going to do is little leaves. We did what looked like leaves in the beginning, but I really want to put a few leaves coming out in some different shades, and then we'll do the centers of those. And then we might have time to play around with some other colors too. So I use a flat brush usually for my leaves, and I just load up with a green on my brush, some sort of green. I can mix some of that dark green with yellow and get a very nice, really pretty green. You can get all shades. You can get a nice apple green, a lime green. If you start dark and mix, you can really be in control of all your colors. So I'm going to get This is the shape of the stroke I'm going to use. I'm using a flat brush, got green paint on it. I'm going to press and turn the brush. You can get a leaf, press and just turn a little, and you can get some nice leaf shapes. You can use this brush for petals. You can press, bring it down, and get a nice petal shape. A little bit of practice with the brush strokes, but relaxing if you want to sit there and practice your brush strokes. It's kind of a relaxing activity, really. So I'll cover that up so I don't get my little bags in there. Oh, Vivian, thank you for following. I'd love it if you guys follow me because I have lots of things out there. I have a YouTube channel. I've got, like I said, the memberships. And if you follow me, you'll hear about all that cool stuff. So some little floating out here on the edge of the bag, we're going to do some little leaves. Some can be right on top of the greenery we made. It's just going to look like a little bouquet. Sometimes I just go in with some yellow. It mixes with that green and makes a nice shade. Sometimes I add a little bit of white to the corner of my brush and just get some lighter shades. A smaller flat brush, we can make tiny leaves. I'll show you that. So I'm not forming each individually leaf carefully and making it look like a leaf and put veins in. I'm just kind of using the shape of my brush to make what looks like leaves, and it's going to read as leaves. If you've got a little tiny flat brush too, you can make little tiny leaves the same way. And then just press and pull wherever you think you need a little something, something. Same on the other one, same thing. I start with the bigger brush and I'm just putting little leaf shapes. I'm going to go super light on this one so you can actually see them. So see. And like I said, it's just that stroke. And you know what? This is even a good place to practice those strokes. They don't have to be perfect. You don't have to have a perfectly shaped leaf. This is a good place to just kind of play with it. See how I'm just kind of popping that on there. Just, you can take, when you have a bouquet like this and you have a lot of flowers, one in front of the other, you can even just take a leaf coming out on top of some of the flowers. You know how a bouquet would look. You'd have, no rhyme or reason. You can have them coming out on top of the flowers even. I have fun with some that are just bright yellow. If you want to or need to, doesn't really need it here, but you could take your little teeny brush and make some little ones. They're almost like little dots. I'm just really dotting the canvas with those. And I'll pop that yellow center in there now too. Actually, I have a little other brush I kind of like for that sort of thing. And I have it here, just straight yellow. I'm just using my straight cad yellow. Can always use this little bit of that goldy yellow too. And get a nice center right there in that big flower. And then let's make centers peeking out in the backs of these guys here. And let that set for a second. Now you can, I don't think it needs it on this one, but let me just show it to you in case you have a bigger, more detailed flower and you want to put a little vein in there. You can do that with a liner brush or a detail brush. I love this liner brush. It looks like it's in rough shape, but when I wet it and add a lot of paint to it, you'd be surprised how thin of a line I can get. And I can get a nice long line because I'm really, I guess you can't see it there, but I'm making that purple again, taking a lot of water. It's really drippy. I'm getting a lot of water in that brush. And then you can get nice long strokes. And if you wanted to add a little detail to this, you could add a few little vein lines in those petals. I know that is just kind of hard to see with that shine, but I'm just going from the center out, pulling in some petals that look like this. Starting at the center and pulling out so I get a nice thin line. And I know thin lines are hard for a lot of people, but the trick is to keep the paint really thin like I'm doing. Light touch. Light touch. I'm barely putting the brush down and then I'm pulling it right up off of what I'm painting. I'm on my porch. I don't know if you can hear the dogs barking. There's dogs down the street barking. And you don't always need this. If it's a little tiny decorative thing, you might need the little veins, but it does add a little touch sometimes if you wanted to do that. I don't think I need it for sure on this little one, so we're not going to worry about that. Hey, Mary, I'm glad to see you here this morning. That's great. Thank you. These are fun to paint. There's not a lot you need to do to finish off. I shade my centers a little bit. So for instance, on this little dark brown center, I might take my orange or the burnt sienna, whichever shows up. And I might just give it a little, like a little C stroke on one side. That's a little bit orangey, so it just makes it look a little bit like it's three-dimensional. And I don't know if you can see that. Let me hold it up a little bit. So it's got a little orange on the side. You can see the little orange bit there. Oh, Margaret, thank you. Welcome, and I'm glad you're watching. You can catch me painting here on Craft Around the Clock and my Tinker's Cart art site. And if you text me, let me put that number up real quick. We have some time. I have a texting number, and if you wanted to text me just hello or anything at this number, you'll get a notification when I go live. I didn't send one out this morning. It was kind of early. I felt like, oh, it could be early in some people's time zones. So, but usually I will send you out a little notification when I go live and paint. So this guy could get the same sort of color on the center. You could just do a little bit of that orangey that we've pulled out, a little bit of orange on the brush here. And I'm just going to go like a little C stroke on the left side. Doesn't really matter left or right, but if I do one on that side, I want to do them all that side. I like to put little pollen dots around there sometimes too, which you can do with either a little dotting tool, like these little dotting tools you have, or the back end of a brush, a little back end of any brush that has like a little thin point. You can just dot. This one's a little heavy. I'm going to use a little smaller one. And it's just adds a little color, and it's kind of fun. So I just take whatever colors are on my palette, any of them, the purples, the greens, and I just simply go, even, let's start with the orange. I just go around, I'm trying to get, so you don't have that glare. I just dot around the center. All the different colors. Now, doesn't have to be right on the center, right on the edge. It's anywhere. I just kind of go around. It adds just a little fun touch to it. I've got green going on. I'll go and do all of them. Now watch my time. We've got a good 4 minutes left. And I would do this on these guys too, maybe if you wanted. I might use that gold color. And I'm going to hold this up so you can see what it looks like too. Any of the colors, they're like, I just call them little pollen dots, but I just like the little decorative touch it adds. Maybe some of that purple. Sometimes I'll put a dot of white right in the center too. So I'm going to take just my white, a little dot in the center towards the right side, shows up. See those little dots? It just doesn't just add a little something, something, I don't know. And that little white dot there. And I'm surprised that this is, I guess the paint is shiny, but I just want you to have a clearer look. So we've got back to these guys. And I might just do some little orange dots around them, maybe on the bottom, just so that say this is a Black-Eyed Susan, they have those rounded centers a little bit. I'll just put the little dots around the bottom. I'll show you this. I might make a little bit of a white highlight on the, I have this crazy brush I realized yesterday is like broken, but I do like the way it paints. And just a little white comma maybe there. A little white on the upper right, some little orange dots here. If you wanted to, if it was bigger especially, you could put all of those little thin lines there. These guys I had started yesterday to show you, and that just really needs the yellow center now. And we just did that, so you saw me do that. But I'm going to throw some centers on there just because. And any questions at all? Because we have a couple minutes now. So if you have any questions, oh, sorry. Let me move that banner. I'm sorry. Yeah, that is probably in the way there. There we go. All right. Now we've got a couple of minutes anyway. And if there's any questions at all, hey Angie, thank you. And Renee, hello, thanks for being here. Thank you, Cindy, Maria, everybody. I just want to make sure I don't miss any questions, because if you have any, put them in right now. I'm happy to answer them. Like I said, very simple acrylic flowers if you jumped in late. I don't use a fabric paint for these or put a medium in, but you certainly can if you have it. If I was to use something like a t-shirt that has a soft hand to it, I might use the fabric paints because they are a little bit softer and more flexible. But on the canvas things, like I said, the little shoes I've painted, canvas bags, anything like that, I just paint on there. The little shoes, you could put a little coat of Mod Podge sealer maybe just to keep them a little cleaner. Thanks, Vivian. And any color, you can make these little flowers any color. And I do other sorts of things, little roses and all kinds of different floral bits, but I make them sort of simple for you. For instance, I've got this little, we're doing these tomorrow night inside my membership. We are painting these paintings with the water lilies tomorrow night, so that'll be kind of fun. And like I said, follow me. I'd love to see you follow me online here and paint with me. And if you've never tried it before, I'm going to make it simple for you. Margaret. Oh, thank you. I have some adult sizes I'm going to paint too. I just did these again, Hobby Lobby. These were Hobby Lobby. Oh, Tarita, yes, I will try to just do the whole screen next time. I did that accidentally this time, but I have to put the big screen in first so that the audio is correct. So yes, what I'll do next time is I'll just make the screen mostly what you'll see, and I can put myself off to the side in a little circle. That's how I do it in my membership. But I will be sure to do that next time and try to get you in as close as you can to see. I like to have a little bit of the palette so you can see how I'm mixing my colors, but I do appreciate anything you have, any comments or things that I could do to improve how you guys see what I'm doing, because it is here online. So here we are at the end. Thank you all for watching. I appreciate it. Have a wonderful day. I'll see you next week. Okay, bye.